A warm welcome to the fourth session of the class. The last one class we have just discussed about the nucleophilic substitution reaction. We discussed about around 9 reactions. Today to speak about the mechanism, that is the mechanism of nucleophilic substitution. Of course, we have discussed about the nucleophilic substitution reaction. The nucleophile which is electron deficient, having a negative charge, moves towards the carbon of an haloalkane which has a positive charge, delta plus charge. Now, how this reaction happens? There are two types of mechanism in your syllabus. One is called SN1 mechanism, that is substitution nucleophilic unimolecular, and one more is the substitution nucleophilic bimolecular. Okay, so today we will just find out how these reactions, all what we have discussed about nucleophilic substitution, will fall under these two mechanisms. So the SN1 mechanism is a mechanism where the rate of the reaction, so I'll just brief it up 3 or 4 points, then I'll give an example, then I explain the steps involved in the mechanism. So we say the reaction is a two-step mechanism. The mechanism is a two-step mechanism, two-step reaction. It's a two-step reaction. We'll discuss about that. What is a two-step reaction? And we'll also say the rate of a reaction, the rate of reaction in SN1 mechanism, the rate of reaction in SN1 mechanism depends only on the haloalkane Rx, not on the incoming nucleophile. So the rate of reaction depends only on the haloalkane Rx, not on the nucleophile. And later I will explain the order of reactivity. The better example here, the example for this nucleophilic unimolecular nucleophilic substitution SN1 mechanism, the best example is a tertiary butyl bromide. Okay, so I will write the example here. Tertiary butyl bromide reacts with aqueous potassium hydroxide. It forms tertiary butyl alcohol. Tertiary butyl alcohol. Tertiary butyl alcohol. How the reaction proceeds, I will write here. CH3, C, CH3, CH3Br with a KOH, potassium hydroxide. You will get tertiary butyl alcohol CH3C, CH3, CH3OH plus KBr. So this is a tertiary butyl bromide. Reacts with KOH is a tertiary butyl alcohol. Now, how this reaction happens? I told you that the two-step reaction, and the rate of reaction depends only on the incoming or only on the haloalkane, but not on the incoming nucleophile. Then I give an example. Tertiary butyl bromide with aqueous KOH gives tertiary butyl alcohol. So this is a tertiary butyl bromide, gives tertiary butyl alcohol. Now we need to find out how exactly the reaction takes place. How? So I told you 2 steps. So step 1. Before that, I want to give a brief introduction to what is this, a rate of a reaction. A rate of a reaction is called speed of a reaction or a velocity of a reaction. Now, the rate of reaction, if you go back to kinetics, which we will discuss later, the rate of reaction is a change in concentration of a reactant or product with respect to time. So, only the haloalkane is involving in the deciding the rate of this reaction, not the nucleophile. Now, why, sir? Because in a mechanism, there are 2 types of reaction. One is called elementary reaction, one is called complex reactions. One-step reaction is called elementary reaction. A complex reaction is a reaction where there can be more than one step, is called complex reaction, where a sequence of elementary reactions. So what we decide? In a mechanism, if any one step is a slow step, that will decide the rate of the reaction. So I will explain to you, among these 2 steps, one step is a slow step, and that slow step is called a rate determining step. What we found is that the haloalkane decides the rate of reaction because the breaking or where the tertiary butyl bromide ionizes to form tertiary butyl carbocation and a bromide ion, and that step is a slow step. Therefore, that decides the rate of the reaction. So, step 1, we say tertiary butyl bromide, ionizes to form tertiary butyl carbocation and bromide ion. So, first step. So, if I write tertiary butyl bromide, that is CH3Br. It's a reversible reaction, and the slow step. So, a slow process. Now, what does it form? It forms a tertiary butyl carbocation CH3. Okay, tertiary butyl carbocation here CH3 plus Br minus. Now, what we understand here, we say this is a slow step, and therefore we call this as RDS, rate determining step. So, I told you that the rate of the reaction decided by the haloalkane. So, here, therefore the slow step in a mechanism is called a rate determining step, and only this step has the right to decide the rate of a reaction. Therefore, I said the rate of a reaction in SN mechanism is decided only by the haloalkane here, tertiary butyl bromide. Bromide ionized to form tertiary butyl carbocation. The second step we are going to learn now. The step 1 I just finished now. Step 1 was what? Very clearly I told you. Tertiary butyl bromide ionized to form tertiary butyl carbocation and a bromide ion. It is a slow step. Therefore, it is also an RDS. I told you, rate determining step. What is second step? The nucleophile OH minus attacks the carbocation, tertiary butyl carbocation to form tertiary butyl alcohol, Now, when I compare the first step and the slow step, I will come to the point now. CH3 here, CH3 plus OH minus. You know, the nucleophile attacks the carbocation, the carbon plus charge, and it's a fast step. Compared to first step, this is a fast step. Therefore, what happens here? CH3 OH. That's what we discussed earlier. Tertiary butyl bromide reacts with aqueous potassium hydroxide to form tertiary butyl alcohol. It is an SN2 mechanism, SN1 mechanism, where we discussed two-step mechanism, SN1 two-step mechanism, where we said the first step is tertiary butyl bromide ionizes to form tertiary butyl carbocation and a bromide ion. That is, tertiary butyl bromide ionizes to form tertiary butyl carbocation and a bromide ion, and that is a RDS. That's why I told you the rate of the reaction. If I want to write for this example, the rate is equal to K into tertiary CH3 tri CBr. Depends only on the tertiary butyl bromide, not on the nucleophile. Why? Because second step is a fast step. In a mechanism, the fast step does not have right to decide the rate of a reaction, because I told you the slow step will decide the rate of the reaction. That step is called RDS. This is a very important question for your board exam. Many a time this question is asked, explain SN1 mechanism, or we also called nucleophilic substitution, unimolecular nucleophilic substitution SN1. Sometime in the examination they will ask, explain the mechanism involved in the reaction of tertiary butyl bromide with aqueous potassium hydroxide in forming tertiary butyl alcohol. For CET they will ask which is a slow step to decide the rate of a reaction. Then you can write the slow step with this first step. And what is the order of reactivity? Who will react faster? See, all the haloalkanes will react. Primary will react, secondary, tertiary also will react. But when we focus on SN1, the tertiary alkyl halide reacts faster than secondary, secondary reacts faster than primary, primary reacts faster than methyl. So what we can come to a conclusion, the CET question here, order of reactivity. Order of reactivity we come across, we say the tertiary will react faster, tertiary alkyl halide, tertiary butyl bromide will react faster than secondary, secondary than primary, primary than your methyl. This is what we are trying to give one more idea. Of course, the stereochemical aspects of SN1 and SN2 we will discuss when I finish explaining about optical activity or optical isomerism, that I will take up in the next class. Now only I want to explain the idea of SN1, optical nature or stereochemical aspect I will discuss in the next session which I will come across. So this is a very important question, SN1 mechanism. Now coming to SN2 mechanism, okay, coming to SN2 mechanism, that is substitution nucleophilic bimolecular SN2. It is a substitution reaction by a nucleophile and a bimolecular reaction on SN2. Example, chloromethane on hydrolysis with NaOH gives methanol. That means if I take CH3Cl plus NaOH, we have learnt already in the first type of nucleophilic substitution reaction, it forms a methanol CH3OH plus NaCl. Of course, when you decide the rate of SN2, the rate here, the rate of reaction decided by both the nucleophile as well as the haloalkane Rx as well as OH. But if I go to SN1, it is slightly different. So, for chloromethane on NaOH form methanol is an SN2 mechanism. We also come across, we say it is a one-step mechanism, one-step mechanism, or a one-step reaction, one-step mechanism. Let me give a brief idea about this, right? So, OH minus a nucleophile attacks chloromethane. You know very well the nature of C and Cl in chloromethane. The chlorine is electronegative compared to carbon, so delta plus and delta minus. The first step, when the OH minus attacks the carbon positive, carbocation positive, the carbon positive in CCl bond, they undergo a state called transition state, an intermediate state, a transition. So what happens here is the OH minus H and H here, Cl. And this is called transition state. Transition state. To come to this state, the reactant involved are chloromethane as well as a nucleophile. This is a slow step, moving very slowly. This step is a slow compared to next step. Now, this step is going to be RDS. What is RDS, sir? RDS is called rate determining step. So both of them are involved in deciding the rate of reaction. The haloalkane as well as a nucleophile in SN2, but in SN1 only the haloalkane but not the nucleophile. But here both are involved, the slow step called RDS. The next step is very clear for us, very clear. Two things are going to happen here. One, the nucleophile OH minus and carbon becomes more stronger and the chlorine and carbon bond weakens. And what happens, final product, I will let you know. Now see here, the COH bond becomes stronger, CCl bond becomes weaker. So now the formation of bond will take place such a way, this is a fast compared to the previous step, fast here. And you can see here, CH3 OH plus Cl minus. This is your methanol. See, OH and C have formed a bond and CCl bond has become weak, and chloride ion, the halide ion, has left as departed away from carbon, moved away, breaking a bond. The OH was a nucleophile, incoming nucleophile has formed a bond. That means we say OH and Ca is a strong bond, CCl bond has become weak. Now we will come to a conclusion. So it is a one-step reaction, attaining an intermediate transition state, from there launching towards a product called methanol. The first where the nucleophile and chloromethane is going to form transition intermediate product. There we say, now we can write the rate. The rate for this example is, rate is equal to K CH3Cl as well as the nucleophile. Both of them are involved in deciding the rate of reaction. Both of them, but if in SN1 only one alloalkane was involved. So now second step what we discuss, what is the order of reactivity, sir? What is the order? What is the order of reactivity? The order of reactivity is methyl reacts faster than primary, primary faster than secondary, secondary faster than tertiary. This is what we are trying to learn, the formation of COH bond and the departure or leaving group is Cl minus group. I summarize the SN2 mechanism. It's called a bimolecular nucleophilic substitution SN2, very important. Many times this question has been asked in the examination. Either they will ask explain SN2 mechanism, or with an example explain SN2 mechanism, or write the steps involved in SN2 mechanism. So I will give a brief explanation once again. What example I have taken is, when a chloromethane CH3Cl on hydrol with an aqueous, what is NaOH gives methanol. The example I have written here, but we will investigate the mechanism. I told OH is a nucleophile. It observes the carbon plus C delta plus carbon bearing a positive charge. And both are involving in the step, slow step, therefore it is called RDS, attains a transition state. In transition state is a small span of time and very faster they need to form a product, therefore the COH bond becomes stronger and CCl bond becomes weaker in the product. Of course, I am not discussing about the stereochemical aspect of SN2 mechanism, which I will discuss after discussing optical activity. But what has happened here, the OH has bond with a carbon called methanol and Cl minus. Therefore, we come across rate decided by both and one step mechanism. Order of reactivity is methyl, primary, secondary and tertiary. So that we will just try to get some difference, SN1 and SN2 reaction. What differences we can get, what we have learned just now, we will get some idea. So what we say here is, it is a two-step reaction. So SN1, it is a two-step reaction. It is a two-step reaction. We have learned, just we finished SN1. What is SN2? SN2 is one step, it is a one-step reaction. It is a one-step reaction, only one step. Second one, here we come across two differences. Second difference, we can say the rate of reaction. Rate of a reaction depends only on the alloalkane, that is SN1. What about SN2? The rate of a reaction depends both on the haloalkane as well as the nucleophile OH minus. The third difference we can come across is the order of reactivity. That is, here we said it is tertiary. We can say order of reactivity. Order of reactivity. Order of reactivity, we know it is tertiary, secondary, primary, methyl. What about the order of reactivity here? Order of reactivity in SN2 is methyl. Then we come across primary, then secondary, then tertiary. This difference, of course, two more differences I will discuss later as we come across this type of reactions. We come across the optical application of stereochemical aspects. I will come across there two more differences. I need to explain the detail about that, then only I can proceed further. So now what we are trying to learn, SN1 and SN2 mechanism. So now we will come across the reaction, second type of reaction with the metals. Second type of reaction, we come across reaction with metals. Now organic halides, when they react with metals, they form organometallic halides. That means when CH3CH2Br with magnesium in the presence of dry ether, they form CH3, CH2, MgBr. That is ethyl magnesium bromide. And we also call this as Grignard reagent, GRR. Anything in the form of RMgX, Rx plus Mg, RMgX, anything in the form of RMgX, we call it as a Grignard reagent. This is called ethyl magnesium bromide. Ethyl magnesium bromide. Ethyl magnesium bromide is a Grignard reagent. So, whenever an alloalkane reacts with a metal, it forms organometallic halides in the presence of dry ether. What is Woods reaction? Now, coming to Woods reaction, we say here when alloalkane reacts with sodium in dry ether, in ether or in dry ether, it forms an alkane. It forms an alkane. Let me try to give a general form once again. That is, we can write Rx plus 2Na plus XR. Okay, Rx plus 2Na plus XR, elaborative method. So, if I could just, in the presence of dry ether, say I can 2NaX, and what I get is R and R, that is again an alkane. So, if I could take an example of chloromethane, CH3Cl plus 2Na plus ClCH3, Cl and 2Na plus ClCH3 in dry ether, what do I get the product here? I will get CH3 single bond CH3 plus 2NaCl. You call this as ethane, nothing but an alkane. Very important question, a frequently asked question in the examination. Explain Woods reaction or name the reaction. Therefore, we come across here, when alloalkane reacts with the sodium in dry ether, it forms alkane. When a chloromethane reacts with the sodium in dry ether, it forms ethane, an alkane. Always they form an higher alkane. If I take methane, it forms ethane. If I take ethane, it forms butane. So, always they form a higher alkane. This is a reaction with respect to metals. Now, coming to the third type of reactions, we are reaction of elimination. We have learned in first PUC. From whenever elimination takes place, we reach up with an alkene, that is a propene. So, elimination reaction always leads from saturation to unsaturation. Elimination always leads from saturation to unsaturation. What happens if I perform elimination reaction on an alloalkane? What if, for example, if I take 2-chloropropane, along with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, I get a product called alkene, that I get a product called propene, and the KCl and H2. So, we are going to eliminate one KCl from here, and now that liberty is given to me in this reaction, because the neighboring, this is alpha and this is beta carbon, both are beta carbon atoms here. So, beta carbon is there, liberty for me is given from, I can remove the hydrogen neighboring either from first carbon from the side or the first carbon from the left hand side, right hand side. The product remains the same, the product remains propene. So, what we say, when an alloalkane with the beta hydrogen atom is heated along with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, when alloalkane having a beta hydrogen atom is heated with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, what happens? There is elimination of hydrogen atom from beta carbon and an halogen atom from alpha carbon, and as a result alkene is formed. So, alpha beta, liberty is there, I can take beta this one or the neighboring carbon. So, halogen from the alpha, beta, hydrogen from the beta, therefore I get a product called as an alkene. Okay, now if I take 2-bromobutane, okay, I want to perform elimination reaction with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, elimination reaction with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, the product will be an alkene, an unsaturated product, an alkene. But remember, now which one from where which hydrogen should be eliminated? The first carbon or the third carbon? Of course, halogen will go from alpha. Now, there's a complication. Therefore, Setzeff makes very clear. He gives a rule. He says, if the haloalkane can eliminate hydrogen in more than one way, I can preferably remove hydrogen first carbon or from the third carbon. So, preferably comes across, he says, the preferred alkene is which one is more alkylated. So, if you remove the hydrogen from the carbon having less number of hydrogen, and that becomes more alkylated product. Now, I get major product and the minor product. So, what we can get across here? Of course, elimination of KBr takes place, Now, liberty is given to me, but the product will be more alkylated. So, if I remove the hydrogen from the lesser number of carbon atom here, or from the second carbon atom here, first carbon atom or a second carbon atom, the first carbon atom, if I remove hydrogen, it becomes 1-butene, 20% product. If I remove from second carbon atom, that is a neighboring carbon and third carbon atom, compared to first and the third carbon has 2 hydrogen, the first carbon has 3 hydrogen. So, if I remove the hydrogen from here, the third carbon, the product becomes more alkylate according to Setzeff, and of course, the major product is but-2-ene or 2-butene. So, according to Setzeff rule, if it is going to be the carbon with the neighboring 2 carbon having equal number of hydrogen, the product will be propene. But if I am going to get 2 ways I can remove hydrogen, the preferred alkene is more alkylated. So, I have a liberty to remove hydrogen either from the first carbon or the third carbon. Setzeff says the product will be more alkylated if you remove the hydrogen from the third carbon, that is 2-butene 80%. You can also remove from the first carbon, that is 1-butene 20% product. Of course, this idea was governed by Setzeff rule, and this completes the 3 types of reactions. So, coming to the physical properties of haloalkane, we come across physical properties of haloalkane. See, we come across the boiling point. The boiling point of haloalkane is in the order. The boiling point of haloalkane is in the order RF, boiling point RF less than RCl, RCl less than RBr, RBr less than Ri. Now, why the boiling point is order is decreasing? The boiling point is because we say as van der Waals force increases, the boiling point also increases. Boiling point also increases. If I come across, we know fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So, iodine molecular mass is high, then a boiling point also increases. So, van der Waals force increases, boiling point also increases. Second one, among isomeric halides, boiling point decreases as branching increases. That means if I take CH3, CH2, 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 CH3, the boiling point is higher compared to the branching. See, a branching comes here CH3, CH, CH3, then CH2, CH3. This boiling point is higher. See what is happening, the branching is increasing. As the branching is increasing, the boiling point decreases among isomeric halides. As the branching increases, the boiling point decreases. The third point is solubility. Third point is solubility. Alloalkanes are insoluble in water. Alloalkanes are insoluble in water. That is a polar solvent, but it is soluble in non-polar solvent. Why alloalkanes are insoluble in water but soluble in non-polar solvents? Because they are not able to form an hydrogen bonding with water. Therefore, alloalkanes are insoluble in water. The fourth point is alloalkanes have higher boiling point than the corresponding alkane. That means if I take CH3Cl as higher boiling point compared to CH4, boiling point is greater than CH4, because you know CH3Cl is polar in nature. Because it is polar in nature and here it is non-polar in nature, CH4. Therefore, the boiling point of CH3Cl is greater than CH4. The fifth point, the last point what you come across is the density. So we know as move down the group, the molecular mass increases. As mass increases, density also increases. That means the order of density is Ri greater than RBr, RBr greater than RCl, RCl greater than RF. This is the order of density. This is a physical property. Density, the physical property of alloalkane. So we come across the properties. The boiling point of alloalkane order RF less than fluoromethane, less than chloromethane, less than bromomethane, less than iodomethane, because the logic is as I move down the group, the van der Waals force increases. As the molecular mass increases, van der Waals force increases. Van der Waals force increases, boiling point also increases. Second point, among branching, among isomeric halides, pentane is greater than 2-methyl butane, greater than 2,2 dimethyl propane, because as the branching increases, the boiling point decreases. Alloalkanes are insoluble in water. Why? Because they are not able to form an hydrogen bond with water. They are not able to form an hydrogen bond with water. So I told the alloalkane, chloromethane, boiling point is higher than methane. Why? Because it is polar. We discussed about earlier nature of CX bond. That means as the polar nature here there is non-polar nature is there. That means they have a higher boiling point compared to the corresponding alkane. Alloalkane have higher boiling point corresponding to their alkane. Order of density, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Iodine molecular mass is higher. So Ri greater than RBr, RBr greater than RCl, RCl greater than RF. As we are coming across the last part, assignment, okay, I'll just give 4 questions here. Explain SN1 mechanism, explain SN2 mechanism. Take an example. Here SN1 I have explained to you all, SN2 explain Wood's reaction and write any 2 differences between SN1 and SN2. Organic chemistry, we are dealing with the mechanism. Today I discussed 2 mechanisms, SN1 and SN2, and I have discussed about applying Set-Zepf rule on elimination reaction, Wood's reaction, a named reaction, and we are Grignard reagent RMGX. Of course, the physical properties of alloalkane. The only thing which suggestion I can give you in this virtual classroom is you have to write down. Whenever I write on the board, I am writing on the board, please make a note of it. No, organic chemistry is very easy and interesting, provided you take a piece of paper as you watch the videos which are uploaded in our website. I want you all to write down simultaneously, and of course this assignment after completion you can upload in our link which is given below. So hope I have completed the chemical properties as well as the physical properties. I have taken the 4th session. Next session is optical aspects, stereochemical aspects of alloalkane and alloarenes. Hope you are enjoying the classes. Of course, it is difficult to reach you all to virtual classroom. Hope you are enjoying there. At the earliest, we will meet you all. Thank you very much. God bless you.